to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, February 7th, 2019. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Over the weekend, I watched Gyro Dreams of Sushi on Netflix, and I have to admit that I ended up getting sucked into the way this guy obsessed over every single detail of his craft. And when you're having the kind of off-season that Ivana Ivusic is having, obsessing over the details seems like it's just par for the course. A few days ago, the four-time Olympian was spotted getting in another back workout out at the Mile High Mecca, which seems to be cranking out the title contenders left and right these days. From what I'm hearing, Ivusic is bigger and leaner than she's ever been at any point in her career. So once things get rolling, I'd be on the lookout for her to do some serious damage. I'm always fascinated when I see stuff on TV or online about remote tribes that haven't had much human contact in the modern era. And if I didn't know any better, I might think that Steve Orton was the long-lost wild man of New Zealand. A few days ago, the Orton camp released what I'm being told is their final update before the Arnold in Australia 6 weeks from now, where we see the third-year pro looking like a real-life, tan-free, indigenous, bearded, crazy person who also happens to be 270 pounds and shredded. In the only 2 shows he's had in his pro career, Orton's been able to show some flashes of brilliance here and there. So it'll be interesting to see if the wild man of New Zealand can scratch and claw his way to a top 5 finish. Everybody knew that one guy in high school who you didn't want hanging around your girlfriend at the party. Because once those two started talking, the next thing you know, you're getting that, "Hey, I don't think this thing is working out anymore," text message. Well, I'm starting to think that Rouille Winkler is bodybuilding's version of that guy. Because every time he shows up at a show, I'm seeing other guys get that same high school nervous look in their eyes. With huge wins in Prague, Australia, and a 3rd place at the Olympia this year, Rouille Winkler has basically morphed into the guy who can steal anyone's win if they're not on their P's and Q's. And with 2 big carrots dangling out there in front of his face right now, I'd make sure I was keeping an eye on what moves he's making if I were everyone else in that Arnold lineup. I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment, because I've been sucking up as much post-Super Bowl coverage as I can get, and I've come to the same conclusion about how the Patriots do business. Get started early, do the things nobody else thinks to do, and find a way to break your opponent's will by figuring out what they do best and then doing it better. And now that Priscila Leimbacher is officially back in prep mode, I'm starting to see some of those Patriot tendencies coming into play here. Earlier this week, the Leimbacher camp announced that they were ready to get their 2019 plans underway, which is great news if you're a fan of the bikini division. Last season, Leimbacher was absolutely brilliant down the stretch, on her way to becoming one of the real bright spots of the second half of the season. So if she starts out this year being anything close to what she was at the end of last, this girl is going to be a major problem by the time the midsummer stretch rolls around. I'm not an Adam Levine hater, but I did take a small bit of pleasure when the internet ruthlessly made fun of his skinny tattooed body at the Super Bowl halftime show. But if the former People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive needs a good tatted up trainer to help him win a gold medal in the shirtless Olympics, Devin Linder would be the first name on my list. Less than a month away from making his Arnold Classic debut, the head honcho of the tatted muscle team feels like he's starting to hit his stride. Based on what I've seen, Linder seems like he's done a nice job filling out his massive frame. And with the top spot in the lineup officially up for grabs, he should have a shot to make his presence felt in the top 10 if he can put it all together. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.